first 5 steps to planning a wedding and how I planned mine spending under $5,000. Hi, I'm Jamelia and welcome to Nana Friedman. Today in Nana's Kitchen we will be discussing the first 5 steps to planning a wedding and how I planned mine, spending under $5,000. Later we'll discuss how this experience has been for me, but first let's take a look and see who made the jam cam for this week. This week's jam cam goes to a young lady by the name of Eva. I've been following her on Instagram for the past 2 years. She is in the fashion industry and she does very beautiful head wraps. So it was only right that we featured her on the jam cam this week. Check her out. So the first 5 steps to planning a wedding, and excuse me if I'm glancing over at my computer, I actually took notes on my computer so that I could give you guys the best information possible. But my first tip or step to planning a wedding is set a date. When you set a date, it determines whether you want to have an indoor wedding, an outdoor wedding, whether you want it to be on the weekend or the weekday. The majority of the times, the time of year that you're planning your wedding or that you're having your wedding, it will affect the cost and the price of your wedding. So you want to take a lot of that into consideration, whether you want to have a summer wedding or winter wedding. Most of the time, the weddings that are planned during the colder months are a lot cheaper than those of the summer months. Those seem to be their peak. That seems to be their peak season. So you want to take that into consideration. Number 2 would be budget. The budget determines how many people you invite. Now, if you have a budget of $5,000 like I did, you'll be able to figure out how many people you want to invite. Whether you're inviting 60 people, whether you're inviting 160 people, based off of how much you're willing to spend for your wedding will determine what your budget will be. Now you also have to factor in wedding dresses, tuxedos, plane tickets if you're out of state and you're having a destination wedding. That stuff also plays a huge factor in what your budget is going to be for your overall wedding. You also have to factor in photographers. Photographers can be very expensive. Makeup artists, decorations, DJs, all of that stuff plays into the budget. So you want to make sure that you come up with an ideal budget and you stick to that budget. You don't want to say, okay, well, I'm going to have a budget of $5,000 and at the end of the wedding you spent $7,000. Now, with this next tip, it kind of ties in with the budget. So I'll be pinpointing things from the budget and kind of comparing it to this 3rd step. Now the 3rd step is how many people you're going to be inviting. Ultimately, a wedding is an investment, so you want to make sure that the people that you are going to invite are going to be individuals that are going to bring you a gift. You don't want to invite 50 people after you spent $5,000 for a wedding and get absolutely nothing back. So you have to be very strategic with the amount of people that you're inviting and who you are inviting. Ultimately, you want everybody to be there, and it would be great if you could just have everybody there. But the majority of the times, people don't bring gifts. So you want to be very strategic and be very thoughtful when you're planning your guest list on who you're going to invite, because you want to get a return on what you've put out there for your wedding. So that is number 3. So we've already covered set a date, we've already covered budget, and we've already covered how many people. Now the 4th one is you want to find a venue. You want to find a venue that accommodates however many people you're going to have at your reception. Now, if you are inviting 50 people, you want to find a venue that can accommodate 50 people. If you're going on the grander scale and you're inviting 200 people, you want to make sure that you find a venue that is going to accommodate those 200 people. Now, this kind of plays into the first point that I made of set a date. And the 2 points that I made in set a date were indoor, outdoor, weekend, or weekday. Now, with the venue, which is step number 4, you want to be sure that when you find this venue, that their fees, if you're having an outdoor wedding, are not separate, because sometimes when you're having an outdoor ceremony and then you're having an indoor reception, sometimes they tack on extra fees. So you want to make sure that you find a venue that has a set amount of, not a set amount, a set, what is the word I'm looking for? A set fee, I'm assuming that's what it would be, of a flat, or basically a flat rate. So whether my reception is indoor and outdoor, let's say you're going to charge $50 a person and that's it. You don't want to charge $60 if you have an outdoor ceremony and an indoor reception versus if you have an indoor reception and an indoor ceremony and you're charging $50 a person. So that's a lot of things that you want to take into consideration with that. I know a lot of places that do, a lot of venues, what they'll do is if you guarantee them a certain amount of people, what they'll do is they'll lock you in at having X amount of people at such and such rate, and anything above that you'll just pay extra. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, you have 40 people you're going to invite. So you guarantee the venue 20 people and you want to get them to come down to $20 a plate, let's say. So you invite 20 people, you invite 40 people, you guarantee them 20. So for those 20 people, you are paying $20 a plate. Anything over that, you're still going to pay $20 a plate, but you're just going to pay extra. So that's how you get them. That's a little point, little tip. So I hope you guys are taking notes. The last, and not the very last, but one of the top 5 is save the dates. Once you have set a date and you secured a venue, you figured out your budget, you figured out how many people you're going to invite, you want to get those save the dates out as soon as possible. Now, I know there are a few people that actually do them yourself. There's different programs you can use. There's PowerPoint, there's Excel, and each one of these programs there's also Photoshop that you can actually tweak a little bit, and you could actually make your own save the dates. The way I went was I did Walgreens save the dates, and Walgreens had a coupon. So I'm big on couponing. I was able to get 60 save the dates for, I want to say $40 or $50, which is very inexpensive. There's also a website, and I'll find it and I'll make sure to put it in the description box below. But there's also a website that you can go to that you can actually, a lot of people are doing magnet save the dates. Now, magnet save the dates are easy because people can get them in the mail and they'll just pop them out of the envelope and throw them on the refrigerator. That way, every time they go in and out the refrigerator, every time they pass the kitchen, they know I need to save this date because Jamoya's getting married. So I have a website for that, and they're very cheap. They're under $2 a magnet if you want to go the magnet route. But if you want to go the paper route, then Walgreens also is really great for that. They also do coupons very often, so if you're lucky to catch a coupon, then you will be able to find a really good rate for your save the dates. And that's really it on the first 5 steps for planning a wedding. But stay tuned, because I am going to give you guys a little tip or a little insider scoop on how the planning has been going for me. So you guys want to make sure you stay tuned, and we'll catch you in a little bit. Hey guys, as promised, I told you guys I would fill you in on the details of my wedding planning. So let me start off with what's bothering me.
Hey! Hey! Wow! Hey, baby! That's what we're talking about today.
Wedding planning and the ups and downs, basically what's bothering me.
Okay, so what's bothering you, baby?
Well, let's start off with, I sent out my save the dates about 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people have been calling and texting and say that they've received the save the dates, which is great.
Right.
But I feel like the save the date is to give people a heads up as to when the date is. I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
Obviously.
Yes. But I get people calling saying, hey, I got your save the date.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to work around that date. It's 5 months in advance.
5 months?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand how busy someone could be to have to work around a date that's 5 months in advance.
Well, I mean, is the person busy?
Like on the road touring and things like that?
Yeah, they like in the entertainment industry.
No.
I mean, like what kind of job they got?
A regular 9 to 5.
Pizza delivery?
Pretty much.
Okay. I mean, they can be busy now.
I understand that people are busy, but that's the whole purpose of sending out save the dates. You give them enough time.
Really, baby, you're right. You know, at the end of the day, if somebody wants to be there, they're gonna be there.
Right, and that's how I feel, and I'm trying not to take it personal.
Hold on. Once is the opportune word. If they want. See, people go after what they want. If they want to be at your ceremony, they're going to be there.
Right.
Even if they got to come late, if they got to call you in advance, if they got to show up a little early, leave a little early. You know, if people want to be there, if they want to show you their support, they'll be there. If they want to support you now, and they know they can't be there, and they want to send you a gift, they're going to send that gift.
But I feel,
right?
yes, I agree, and I understand that, but I just feel, I sent you a save the date 5 months in advance, correct?
Me? Did you send me one?
No, I don't remember. I have to look at my guest list.
Because I didn't get one yet, but that's another story. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. But you can come. You
No. See, no. I want an invitation, baby.
All right.
That's the way things are done.
Give me your address, and I'll send you a.
You have my address, okay? We're not gonna start lying. We just turned on the tape. We're not gonna start lying. You got my address.
I don't remember the street number.
Okay.
So can you please give me the street number?
Sure. I'll give you the street number to the house that you slept in for about 15 years when you was trying to get on your feet. Sure.
Anyway. See, all of that, and you made me lose my train of thought.
No, but seriously though, what happened was...
I remember. Can I say it?
Yeah, go ahead. You're talking to me now.
Right. So I send the save the dates. Now, when you send the save the date, that isn't the time for people to say, I'm not going to be there. You say I'm not going to be there when I send you a formal invitation.
No, but if they know in advance that particular weekend or that day.
I'm sorry, that's just not happening. I don't believe it.
I did, but hold on. But at the end of the day, baby, 5 months in advance. If a person wants to be there 5 months in advance,
I think that's
you telling me you can't make it 5 months. You just don't want to be there. Just say that. Just say.
And I understand people have things to do. I understand that things come up, but. For you to say you know what you're going to be doing 5 months in advance is kind of a stretch.
Right.
So for you to get to save the date and say, oh, well, I got to see what I'm doing.
Right.
What do you mean you have to see what you're doing? Either you're going to be there or you're not.
Now listen, if you know that you don't have the finances, then say that. Just say, well, I don't know what my finances are going to be around that time. So I might have to decline because I'm in a bit of a pinch. Now, I will send my support and my love in due time. I just won't be able to do it at that time. And I don't feel comfortable going to affairs and not having the financial stability to support myself at that time. Just say that.
I
Just
get
be
that.
honest, you know?
I totally get that. I
think folk just don't, they're afraid of being honest. And that's the problem.
I just feel
Be honest, right?
at that moment, that's not the time for you to say, I'm not going to be there. Because, like, for a newly engaged person, you're on a high and you're excited about getting married and having a reception. And then for somebody to call you and say, well, I might not show up. I feel like we'll send my save the date back.
Well, baby, here's the thing.
I want my 49 cents back for my stamp. And
yeah,
I want my 49 cents back. I want my money back for the save the date.
baby, here's the problem.
That's kind of petty, but
Yeah, see, right now, you don't want to be childish about this. You want to maintain your
but
class.
there's certain people that you just
but see, that's your mistake. Because what happens is you plan your wedding, and you have in your imagination who gonna be there, what they're gonna wear. No, because you've been thinking about this now. So in your imagination, you thinking this person's gonna be there, that person's gonna. And I'm gonna tell you, baby, everybody that you plan to be there, they ain't gonna be there.
I get that, but there's certain people that you just expect to be there.
Okay, and that again goes with where you make the mistake as a friend, not knowing that everybody is not necessarily going to be a part of that one special day.
Okay, so you tell me, how do you know 5 months in advance that you're not going to be available?
Easy, they don't want to be there. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. They just don't want to be there. To them, I mean, like, you gotta look at it like this. If someone like Beyonce, if Beyonce was having a party 6 months from now, and I asked you, are you gonna be there? You would have to literally be going into the armed services to tell me, I know today I'm not coming. Come on. So if a person's telling you 5 months in advance, nah, I can't make it that weekend. What? You just don't want to be there. Just say, all right, well, I got better things to do. Or I don't have, you know what? Because with weddings, people have to spend money, and maybe they don't look forward to spending no more money. That's what it is. But that's not your problem.
But don't say,
your side
but then if I don't send the save the date, then you're like, well, I wasn't invited. And I feel like, why do you want me to send you a save the date if you're not going to come anyway? Right.
But you know what? You send a save the date because that's your responsibility.
That's not my responsibility.
And no, as a friend, that's your responsibility, and you fulfilled it when you send it. Now, if the other person declines, that's on them.
I just feel like that this is a time where people's true colors start to come out.
Yeah, they do.
Because if I've been friends with you for 15 years and I'm telling you I'm getting married and you're like, well, I got to see if I'm going to be here that weekend, then I'm going to start questioning our friendship.
But you know what, baby? This is a mistake that you don't want to make. See, are they your friend?
That's why I said I would start questioning it.
All right. See, and that's the key. Because if it's just this one time that they missed the ball, you can't tell them that they're not your friend. Because they've been here yesterday, they've been here today. They just said they won't be here tomorrow, okay, but you can't judge the whole relationship on this one occasion. As important as it is to you.
That's a very important occasion.
I know. I agree. But as important as it might be to you, you cannot judge your entire relationship on this one occasion.
Okay. So I'm going to
be the bigger person.
I'm going to just be in my feelings for the most part.
Okay.
And
that's
I'm going to reconsider inviting you to
me
in the future. No, not you.
Oh, I was finna say, girl.
And then when it comes down to the part of life where kids come in and you're wondering why your kids aren't invited to my kid's birthday party or baby showers,
right,
then I'm not going to throw it in your face, but I'm just not going to send you an invitation.
You're going to do it?
I'm not going to send an invitation.
Okay, so what do you call that being?
Petty.
Mm-hmm. You're going to grow out of that. Because you're upset, and that's understandable, baby.
My feelings are hurt.
Yes. I understand. And I think, and that's why I'm glad you're talking about this today, because that usually happens. This one was my friend. They never came to my wedding. So you know what? I don't care if your son just got an award to go to Japan for a spelling bee. I don't care. I ain't coming. Like, come on, let it go. It's one occasion. It may be important to you. But hold on. Now, listen. There are other situations where people, not in this case, not from what you said to me, but people who have said, I had a friend, they wasn't here for this. They wasn't here for that. They wasn't here for that. They wasn't here for that. Well, guess what? With friends like that, who needs bums?
Who needs what?
Bums.
So you're trying to say that the
if someone
friends are bums?
If someone repeatedly disappoints you, then guess what? That is a reflection of your judge of character. Because that person should not be your friend.
I agree.
So you got to diversify your circle with better people.
I agree.
Okay? So I don't want you to take because your situation is minor compared to the people that I heard about in my life. Please. Someone disappoints you one time, even if it's on a special day, you don't want to carry this for the rest of your life. Okay, I extended the invitation. You said no. Later on, we're going to talk about why you said no. That's all.
Never.
Later on, we're going to talk about why you told me no 5 months in advance. That's the mature way you go about that. Okay?
I just feel like that if I send you a save the date and you get it in the mail a week later, that is not the time. I mean, and I probably said this earlier. That's not the time to say I'm not gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
If when I send you an invitation and mid-January to actually come to the reception, and at that point, if you know you're not gonna be there, then that's your time to say I'm not gonna be available. Not 5 months in advance, because that just makes me feel like you don't want to be there.
But you're right. But you know, baby, I really think whether they said it the day you sent it, or they said they weren't going to be there the day you sent the invitation, it would have still disappointed you.
Probably, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Because if they wouldn't have said it in November, but then January came and they said, well, I'm not going to be there, then I probably would feel the same. Like, but I sent it 5 months in advance. So I think you're right.
Right.
You're right. I just I'm in my feelings right now, but I don't feel like that's the time to voice that. Like, although wedding planning is supposed to be fun and it's supposed to be exciting,
Weddings
stressful.
will do this to everybody, and people, it's twofold, because the folk that you think is your friend, they tell you one thing, they do one thing, they mess up. They don't make it. They don't bring a good gift. They don't, whatever it is they do. They don't.
They call 5 minutes before. And
but hold on. But the bride, the family, y'all mess up too, because you judge people on this one occasion, as at 15 plus 10 however many years of friendship, you judge them on this one time.
Absolutely.
But listen, let me tell you something. Friends are humans. People gonna drop the ball. People gonna mess up. You got to learn how to just forgive and move on. You ready?
I forgive, but I'm not going to forget.
I bet you not, because I know you. I know you.
I'm not going to forget at all. So, yeah, maybe I'm just being emotional right now, but I feel like this is a time in my life that's supposed to be really fun, and you want your friends and your family there to support you, and then everybody's like, yeah, that weekend I might be busy.
Let me tell you something else too. People say that they love you, they support you. Unfortunately, it's occasions like this where you see just how devoted people are, not necessarily to you, but to their word. Because they say a lot of things as friends because it just sounds nice. But in time, you learn, you just don't keep your word.
It's like, why are you talking? Just because you have a mouth? It's just annoying.
That was a little too poetic for me. I didn't understand any of that. But anyway, yeah, you get where I'm going with that.
There. People say they're gonna be there, and they talk all of this stuff when they're, you know, when you don't really need them. But then when it's time for them to step up to the plate, it's like, well, what happens to everything you were saying 5 months ago? Like, did that just go out the window, or were you just talking at that point? You get it?
They were just talking.
Yeah.
So, but you know, you'll get over this.
Yeah. Thanks, Phil. I appreciate the talk.
You ready for the words of wisdom?
Sure.
Friends. Words of wisdom. Okay, y'all ready? I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right. It's harder to forgive a friend than it is an enemy. However, forgive them. Because after all, they are your friend. Think about it though.
I got it.
It's harder to forgive a friend than it is to forgive an enemy. However, forgive because after all, they are your friend. Think about it. Don't judge them on one little occasion. They are your friend. They're just not very good at being a friend today. That's all.
Okay.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.